Hey, thanks for jumping in. And you ever meet somebody and the first thing that comes to your mind is, damn, that's a good human right there. Well, I got one of those coming up for you in this episode. But before I get into it, like I normally do, just want to shout out to Live Rishi. These guys been supporting the show since the beginning, and I've been using their product long before that, and it's just high quality CBD product. Great company, great people. Jump over liverishi.com. Use the code word table at checkout, and you're looking at 50% off your entire order. They got a lot of cool stuff over there. Just jump over. They would love to hear from you. And also my website, waltzkitchentable.com. You can find out everything you need to know about the show and more. And click around, check things out. You want to get a hold of me, you could do that there as well. I would love to hear from you just to say hello, chat up, whatever you want. Hit me up. All right, now let's get on to this show. Welcome to Walt's Kitchen Table, where I feature captivating stories from fascinating people. Today, Dan, this guy, like I said in the intro, is just an awesome human being. I love spending time with this guy, and we talk about fatherhood and Rocky movies, Sylvester Stallone, and all that good stuff. And this guy has an incredible story, and he's doing some crazy things. You know what? I'm just going to let him tell you all about it. Let's get to it. What's that? Always camera ready. We're live,
Always
dude.
camera ready.
So everything you say now is going to be on the internet.
And used against me in the court of law.
Yeah, most likely. So keep it coming, dude. Don't be shy now. You've never
Bring
been
the heat.
shy before. Hey man, you got to show that shirt off, dude.
Woo!
Yeah, but I got to.
Yeah.
4 is the best.
Everyone says 4. Everyone says 4. And it's almost like the default automatic, what's your favorite Rocky? But I think 3 gets forgotten because of how good it is, right? Because it's the coming together of Apollo and Rocky, enemies in the first two movies. They now come together, right? Apollo has a hole in his life; he misses boxing, so he uses Rocky to get back into it and teaches him all that he knows and to help his friend. And it's a pretty good number 3. And what is that? The quadrilogy of Rockies? What are there now? There's 6 or 7 of them, right?
No.
Do you count the 5th one? Do you count the 5th one, Walt? I don't even count the 5th one.
No, don't count the 5th one. But I tell you what, I thought Balboa was a good closure to that. But then, of course, they bring in Creed and all that. But when I saw Balboa, I was like, that's amazing how they closed everything up.
I thought they did a nice job. I thought it was, in my opinion, I think that was a makeup for 5, right? They knew that 5 was good. I think Stallone wanted to give back to the fans. And I thought they did a really nice job with those. And I think they've done a nice job with the Creed spinoffs, too.
Yeah, the Creeds. I enjoy the Creeds as well. How about that story about Rocky where he sells his dog and all that? You hear that?
That's the story about, of Stallone, right? Stallone's story. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
What he had to do, and he went studio to studio where he was going to be the main actor and he was going to be the director, and he was getting rejected left and right. He had his dog. He sold his dog. All these crazy stories with him of how he made it, and it was a movie that he wrote. Now, trivia question for you, Walt. Do you know where Rocky got his inspiration for the movie?
Oh, I know
where Stallone got his inspiration for the Rocky storyline. What inspired him for the Rocky storyline?
Oh, I know this. I've heard it before. I can't remember. No.
Okay, so the story is with the Bayonne Bleeder, right? The boxer from Bayonne who fought Muhammad Ali, and says that he knocked Muhammad Ali out. He was a long shot. He was a fill-in to fight Ali. Ali didn't even train for the fight. But the story goes is that the Bayonne Bleeder will say that he knocked out Muhammad Ali or got him on the ground. But if you look at the footage closely, Ali trips and falls. And there
Oh,
was always like that asterisk against him. Chuck Whipner was his name. Chuck Wepner was also known as the Bayonne Bleeder.
yeah, that
And
is here I was going with that.
I think Stallone saw that fight or he heard about that fight, and that was his inspiration for Rocky. Apollo was the Muhammad Ali,
Sure.
and Rocky was the Chuck Wepner.
Oh, that is awesome. Because as you were telling that story, I was like, that does sound like the Rocky movie. To
Yep.
a T. And
Yeah.
then there was the how he got offered all sorts of crazy big money, but he wouldn't be the lead, and he's like, nope, 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 and just kept denying it. And he's like, no, I'm going to do everything, and I know I have something here. So I thought that was cool, and now look what it is now. Holy shit, right? Whew.
Yeah. I mean, people wanted to just buy the script. They wanted to buy the script, but Stallone refused. He held to his guns. He believed in himself. And he goes, no, I want to produce. I want to star. I think I can do it. I know I can do it. And I believe Rocky, I believe it won an Oscar for Best Picture. I believe it won an Oscar for Best Picture.
Yep, yep. What do you think of the First Blood movies? There, what's his name? Rambo movies.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, Walt. Rambo was probably one of my least favorite of the Stallone trilogies. I liked the first couple of ones, and then listen, they went nuts with the most recent ones, right?
Oh my God, like where they like blow
Yeah.
up the whole ranch
Oh
and
man,
the
yeah.
tunnels and everything. I'm like, all right, I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah. I mean, listen, they go for the nostalgia. They go for the fans of the series. There's three of them, I think, and they came out with two more. I think it was just Stallone trying to write off characters that had done well in the 80s and early 90s, and he was just trying to keep that fire burning, so to say, right?
Well, that and the tax collector might have had something to do with it.
I'm sure
Right?
it's true. Yeah. He probably had a property he had to pay off. It's like, you know what? I'll just make another First Blood. I'll make another Rambo movie.
There was an ongoing joke for a long time about Nicolas Cage. When you saw him in a movie, he meant he owed taxes.
Oh
So-
my gosh, oof. That's a guy that had a lot of straight to DVD movies with that guy, right?
Yeah. There's a handful that I really enjoy with him, but some of them I'm like, what in the what? You had to be doing that for not for the acting, for the money.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
So since we're talking about Stallone, do you remember what do they call it? The Expendables?
Of course.
Did you watch them?
Yeah, listen, that had a plethora of classic action stars that, he just brought all together, past, current, and future, right?
Yeah.
I love the first one. The first one's awesome. I can't recall if the second one was with Jean-Claude Van Damme. I don't remember when he was the bad guy.
I think so. The first one was the best, man.
First one was good. And then they had the third one. Out of all of them, the first one was my favorite for sure. For sure.
He was quoted saying that this is the perfect guy movie. The Expendables. And I get it, right? There's only one fault with it being the perfect guy movie. There is one woman in it. One. Literally, if you watch it, his love interest is literally the only woman in the movie.
Right. You would think if it's a truly, and I'm using these air quotes, a guy movie.
We go
It's
like
really
that.
it's a bunch of dudes. So wouldn't you think that that's more geared towards the ladies, right? All these good-looking dudes that sleeves ripped off, right? You got Jason Statham walking around with no shirt on, shit. I mean,
Stabbing
good-looking
basketball.
dude, but yeah.
Yeah. So I thought a good way to curb that, because they always going to meet somebody, right? They're always going to meet for a job or meeting a connection of some sort. I said, man, these guys the main characters needed to walk through a peeler bar, and you saw some girls dancing. You don't need any soft core or hardcore sex scenes, nothing like that. Just some ladies dancing. They walk through there, make a couple of corny jokes. They go in the back room. Then they meet with some people and the meeting goes bad and the big shootout happens and they escape, right? But at least there would have been some kind of nudity in there. Throw a couple boobs in there and life is good, right? Now that's a guy movie, not just nothing but action the whole way, man. You got to have something, dude. You got it.
I think the word you're looking for is a little diversification there, Walt. You need to diversify a little bit.
I don't even know how to spell that. So no, that's always good, man. Well, hey, thanks again for coming on, dude. You came on, I think you were the second or third episode of this endeavor of mine, and now we're up to like 80 something.
It's amazing. It's been a lot of fun, Walt. It's been a lot of fun watching, seeing you at the ground level and how it's built and grown into what we're doing right now. I mean, look at you with the headphones and the mic, and we're on camera. It's like we've been doing this for years,
Fake it till you make it. It looks all professional. Got my little backdrop going, everything, right?
No, it's awesome.
Dude, the golf tournament. I had to give you some feedback on that. You good with that?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that was a good dude. How about the weather? Holy man.
The next day was the tip of the iceberg with the hurricane. I mean, I got an email from the course on Thursday where they announced to everyone that for the next couple of days they were shut down. I mean, we dodged a major bullet, which is why outdoor events freak me out big time, and they keep me up at night. But man, for that exact reason. But did we dodge a bullet? Because Tuesday it was sun and clear skies in the mid 80s, and did we get lucky?
And then Wednesday it was a shitstorm, literally.
Man,
Hey Dan, though, real quick, for the people listening that have no idea what we're talking about, let them know what we were up to, bud.
Yeah, so my nonprofit, which is called Layups for Life, we run a bunch of events in the sports, social, and event space, a lot of live events. And back in 2019, we had a golf outing, and we wanted to do it again in 2020, but unfortunately, because of the pandemic, we had to shift things around. But we were very lucky. This past Tuesday, I guess we were in September, so this was on August 31st, we were able to actually put on our golf outing and put an event together, an outdoor event, which I think is critical during these times. And, it was a great success. It was our second time doing it. We had 12 foursomes, and everyone coming together helped support our fundraising efforts and raising vital funds for cancer research and clinical trials. And it's just one of many events that we've been fortunate enough to run, and fortunate to have people like you that support us, Walt, in our efforts of doing what we do, which is, like I said, to raise vital funds for cancer research and clinical trials.
And you yourself as a cancer survivor, there's a lot of people listening since the last time you were on, bud.
Yeah. So
listeners.
I was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia back in 2013. I was 27 years old, and it caught me out of nowhere. It was a huge surprise. You got a call from a doctor on a Saturday morning to talk about blood results. That's never a good sign. So I'm very fortunate to be now going 8 years cancer-free. Around Thanksgiving is typically my milestone where I received a treatment that was once a clinical trial that ended up being a treatment that certainly saved my life. And that's the whole purpose of why we do what we do with Layups for Life, to pay it forward, to give back, and to support the doctors and the researchers that are on the forefront of fighting this disease. So as a survivor, I wanted to take my involvement in the cancer research and fundraising community and take it to the next level. And my wife and I have been doing that for the last 8 years as a purely passion project. We make $0 on it. It all goes into our fundraising efforts, and it all goes to keeping the lights on with the organization too.
That's awesome, dude. And one thing you did say at the golf outing I thought was great, that at one time the treatment that saved you was a clinical trial. And I was like, oh shit, that I've never heard you say that. You've probably said it a million times, but it really resonated with me that day, and I thought that was really cool, dude. To think
Yeah, I
of it
mean,
to think of it that way, right? So
yeah,
if
yeah,
I mean, even Tylenol was a clinical trial at one point. You
yeah.
know,
We're, we're not gonna cure for cancer tomorrow, Walt. But what we are gonna do is we're gonna build a foundation to help those that can maybe build it for our children, right? You and I are new dads, right?
yeah,
So for our kids, and for their generation, right? We're establishing and providing funds that are gonna help these doctors in hopefully building that cancer-free future for that generation of people. So that's what we're doing. Someone paid it forward before me to help with my treatment, which is once a clinical trial. So now we're looking to do the same. That's what it is.
yeah, carry the torch, right?
Exactly.
Let me ask you. I know there's a video out there that you described that. How did you find out that you had cancer?
Yeah. So I mean, I had shortness of breath. 27 years old. I like to think I was in good shape, and I was seeing a doctor. I was seeing a lung specialist, and we were doing all kinds of tests, and he found nothing wrong with my lungs or my anything to do with my breathing. I thought maybe asthma was kicking in. So we did blood work, and the blood work told the story. Simple as that. A complete shock, and from then on, we just kind of hit the ground running for treatment and recovery. And it was a long process, but the fact that I was healthy and I was young and that we caught it early, and then my brother ended up being a perfect match for a transplant. A situation that was real shitty, that could have gone poorly, and it could have been a longer recovery process and a longer treatment process. I had a lot of things to my advantage that helped me get to where I am today, but by no means was my journey easy by any means. I am just sure it was maybe easier than others, but everyone's battle with this disease is different, and it's challenging no matter what.
Yeah. Well, that I lost my mom with from cancer as well. But the thing is, though, dude, you're such a good human, and your attitude about everything. I don't see you behind closed doors, obviously, but every time I see you, dude, man, your attitude is amazing. You're always cheerful, and and that's why I love hanging out with you. You just
Yeah,
pass that energy along.
I appreciate that, Walt, and I do that because the one thing that I learned from all of this is that tomorrow's not guaranteed. You can wake up and some crazy shit can happen, and you may have taken advantage of yesterday, and you take tomorrow for granted. So for me, that's just the approach that I take. I took it before, but now more so than ever. You have a life changing event like that happens, and that kind of changes your peripheral and how you see things. So yeah, I mean, why go through life angry or upset, or go through life constantly thinking about small things or worrying about little things? It's not worth it at the end of the day.
No, no, for sure. But I don't think you need a life changing event to have that attitude.
No, no, you're right. But sometimes, well, that's what it takes for something. Now, I'm not
Yeah.
speaking from me, but for some people, that's what it takes, right? I was always a positive, happy, outgoing guy. You knew me before, and you know me after, Walt, right? So
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
that's always been me. That's always been my mo. But listen, some things like worrying about the small stuff, I definitely have done a better job in letting that shit go. But I've always been kind of a happy, outgoing guy because what's not to enjoy. We could be somewhere else. We can be in worse situations, but you take advantage of the hand that you're dealt, and I like to think I got dealt a pretty good hand.
Absolutely. Very well said, man. Let me back up though for a second. When you said your brother was a match for a transplant, what do you mean by transplant? What did you have transplanted? I guess is the word.
Sure, sure. So if you ever go, Walt, if you see something called Be the Match, where they take a Q-tip and they swab the side of your cheek, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's to see if you'd be a match for a bone marrow transplant. Right
Bone.
now, back in the day, a bone marrow transplant was like a spinal tap, where you get a needle in like your lower back, and they would take the marrow out of your bone marrow, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
now, through technology and medical advancements, I received something called a T cell depleted transfusion. right? And what that means is that my brother, who got tested to see if he'd be a match, from that perspective, ended up being a perfect match. Otherwise, I'd have to go on a donor list, Walt, and I would wait for someone who was a match to show up, or to show up, and then to be willing to want to be a donor, right? So it's great that someone is a match, but then do they want to be a donor, right? Because it's a process. So my brother essentially more or less had to give blood. He had to give about 2 days worth of blood. The blood went through a machine. The machine took what it needed, returned the remainder of his blood, and essentially, I went through chemotherapy, heavy dose radiation, and my immune system went down pretty much to nothing. They were bringing me all the way down. This whole pandemic thing with wearing gloves and sanitizing, wearing masks, it strikes an eerie chord with me, because during my process, I was in a room on my own by myself. If someone wanted to come in, because my immune system was like nothing, Wall, right? They were killing all my white blood cells, all
Right.
that stuff, my platelets, all that stuff.
What do they call that? Like day zero or something? Isn't there?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm gonna get there exactly. Well, you're right on the money. So what happened is that they brought me all the way down to nothing. My immune system was non-existent. So if someone came with a cold or a sneeze and I got that, game over.
Game over.
Right?
Yeah.
Game over. So they brought me down to nothing. And then when I was ready and I had enough and I was in remission, right? They had this vial that was in a syringe with the T cells, and they put it in my IV, and that was it. And then to your point, Walt, day zero was in my immune system and my white blood cells starting to regenerate. It's like being a newborn, right? So I was slowly getting all those counts coming back.
What was in the vial?
The T cells. Remember I told you my brother gave blood and went through a machine.
Okay.
The machine took what it needed. They took that bit, the from the T cell depleted transfusion. They took that. It was in a syringe, and they put that magic stuff into my IV. Yeah, crazy.
Dude, so they broke you down to nothing, gave you an IV, and you built up from there.
Science, man.
That's amazing. Obviously I didn't have cancer, but when I got in the hospital with my back, science is the reason I'm walking around. I got a fake back. I got carbon fiber disc in my back, and I couldn't walk either. And the doc was like, well, this is the goal. And same situation you were in. I was younger and healthier, and he's like, I want you to keep an active lifestyle, so I want to put this little disc in you. And he's like, that's plan A. And I was like, all right, what's plan B? And he's like, we could fuse the disc together like you normally would hear about people with a back injury, right? They fuse discs together. He goes, that'll severely limit what you can do, physically. I was like, all right. I go, plan C. He goes, you just don't walk again. And he left the room. I was like, okay. But I got to give the guy was awesome. My neurosurgeon I love that dude to death, man. His bedside manner is not for everybody, but he seemed to match me pretty well. But going back to science, dude, science is crazy. And in the last, 15, 20 years, they did more than in the last 200 years with advancement.
Well, I like to think these people are in white coats for a reason, right? I don't wear a white coat. You don't wear a white coat, but there are people that are much smarter than us that do wear a white coat, and they're wearing that for a reason. So when my doctors were telling me what they wanted to do, it's like you tell me to jump, and I ask you how high. So that was the situation that I was in.
Oh, dude, I'm so happy you said that in a way, because when I came out of my back surgery, I told my wife, Val, I go, whatever the physical therapist says and whatever my neurosurgeon says, I'm doing it to a T. Whatever they say. I'm checking my ego. Not like, okay, after a week, I feel fine. They don't know what they're talking about. I'm fine. Fuck that, dude. I said to a T. And I came out of that. Well, look what I do every day. It's like nothing ever happened, But like you said, man, you got to listen to these guys. There's a reason they're in that position.
Yeah, I mean, what it comes down to, Walt, is that you want to walk, right? I want to be able to live a normal. I want to be able to live a normal life, right? So what I said to my doctors is that tell me what to do where I never have to go through this again, and where I have the least likely chance of some kind of cancer, whether it be this one or something else, from flaring up and coming about, right? So
Yeah.
whatever that is, 'cause listen, man, life's a book. You have many chapters in the book, right? So this is just one of many chapters, but it's a chapter that I don't want to come back and revisit,
Yeah.
right? Like I don't want chapter 15 to be the same as chapter 7,
Now
right? I want to go, yeah.
let's speed read through that and move on, dude.
Yeah, yeah. So whatever it is, so I don't have to ever go through this again or do it. Tell me. I'm sure you were the same way. You didn't want to be back on the surgical table, or you didn't want to, God forbid, not be able to walk again.
No, no. And you know what the next chapter is, don't you? That little bundle sitting out there in the crib.
Oh, that's an ongoing long chapter.
Ha! So I don't know about you, man, but talk about fucking cool. People try to, they're like, what do you think? I go, I just can't put it into words. I look at this little man and I pick him up and he smiles at me and I'm like, nah, I'm done.
Walt is great. As great as it is, it's also a reason why I'm drinking a little bit of this right here. So I mean, I agree with you, my man. I couldn't agree more. It's amazing. It's a privilege. It's awesome. It's also fucking exhausting. So let's just be on the real, my man. So, here's the exhaustion.
Yeah. Well, here you go. I got a buddy of mine I work with. He's got 3 girls under 3.
The guy should have a statue. Him and his wife should have a statue in front of their house.
Wait till
I went to go visit my buddy. Oh, I went to go visit my buddy. We went to go visit my college friends, and he's got 3. I told him, I said, I looked at him and his wife. That you guys are heroes in my book. You're legends. You should have monuments built in your name.
Dude, ain't that the truth? I mean, we're running double team. We're not even running a zone defense, dude. And I'm like, what the? I'm getting my ass kicked sometime.
They have a starting 5. They have a starting 5 for basketball. They have a starting 5 they can roll out.
Yeah, right? That's crazy.
Forget it. It's nuts.
Nah, we took, he's 6 months old. We took him to the zoo and the beach over the weekend, and he saw the giraffes and slept the rest of the way at the zoo, and then put his feet in the sand at the beach, and that was about all he saw at the beach too. But we had a good time with him. You know
what's so interesting? Well, we went to the zoo also. It sounds like everyone there's always like this checklist of parents that are doing the same shit, right? Zoo, beach, Sesame Place. It's all like the parents' checklist of places that everyone goes to. Legoland. Yeah. It's like this de facto checklist that when you become a parent and your kid becomes at an age where they can kind of understand and do shit. Everyone should get like this. I feel like everyone gets like this list. Okay, great. Here's like the fun shit you can go and do. Because everyone I hear, you're the. If I had $1 for everyone that went to the zoo, I'd have my own zoo. I think.
Yeah. But the thing is, though, I like the zoo, and now Val and I were talking about that. I go, now we can go and do whatever you want because you're like, hey, I got my son with me, and Val's like, well, that never stopped us before, and I was like, that's a good point. Val and I, we just whatever we wanted to do, we just went and did it anyway. But now we take the boy along with us, but. Some of the stuff we can't do, obviously, with a 6-month-old.
Do you go to the zoo enough to get a zoo membership? Have you heard about you get the zoo membership?
I saw the sign for it.
I'll split a zoo membership. I'm not going to go get a zoo membership. Can I take advantage of the parents that have the zoo membership?
No. I don't. I like the zoo, but not for that. I don't know what they want for it, but maybe once every couple of years, you spend $17 and you take him to the zoo, and as he gets older, right? So he sees it differently. That's my theory on it. But to go like, once a month, no, dude, I'm not that kind of no.
Giraffe's not going anywhere. Giraffe's going to be the same giraffe it was now that it was, 4 weeks ago.
Exactly. Well, that's what I'm saying. Every couple of years you go. And what zoo did you go to?
Turtleback.
Oh yeah, that's where we were.
That's everyone. That's everyone's too. That's New Jersey too. Everyone goes to the Turtleback.
And what was the? Oh man, I'm gonna mess this up. Condor. Hey, I got
Condor,
it.
the snake.
No, the bird.
What's it called? Oh, the bird. Shows you how
Dude.
much I was paying attention in the zoo, Walt.
Dude, you ever see it? You ever see one? Well, that was the last thing we saw, and I just went, "Holy shit! These things. No wonder they're made out of science fiction and scary movies and stuff. Them things are crazy looking."
Walt, did you see also the turtle that's been around probably since World War One?
No.
I mean, there's a. Oh my gosh, big turtle, big shell. I mean, that's a life, man. Just sitting in some mud, slowly moving around, hanging out.
Get some food thrown at you once in a while.
Yeah.
What else you need, dude? Some grapes. Give me a woman once in a while. Shit. What else you need, right? And
Yeah.
Well, and I'll live 100 and something years. He's at, right?
Right. The coolest part outside of the giraffe was the dog and the cheetah. Did you see the dog and the cheetah?
Yeah, dude. I walked up on that and I went, do I see that? Right. There's a golden retriever or a white yellow lab or whatever it was hanging out with the cheetah, and the cheetah's like, chill with it. I was like, that's different. But apparently that's common.
Yeah, well, they were around each other since they were pups, or whatever you call a young cheetah, right? But that's right.
You call it faster than me.
Fast.
We were at it was like the jaguar or the leopard or something, and I don't know if it was a he or she, but it was pacing, right?
Oh,
as they're known to do, because when you're in captivity, you don't do anything but pace, I imagine. And it was growling. You could hear it, And the lady turns to her kids and like, listen, it's purring. And I'm like, no, that's not a purr.
It's sizing you up.
Yeah, it's like, I think I could take why don't you stick your hand in this fence? But
oh my God.
But we went, it wasn't very crowded. It was clean. The animals were cool. It looks like they keep their enclosures. It's not just a cement box that the animals are in, because that's like super depressing when you see that. I was like, oh. Yeah. Well, speaking of movies, I had to quote one of them when I was there. Triple X. You ever see that?
With Vin Diesel?
Yeah.
Vin Diesel's interesting to me because I saw the first few Fast and the Furiouses, Furious I don't know how you say plural, but I didn't get into the Triple X. I'm kind of hit or miss with Vin Diesel. To me, one of Vin Diesel's best roles was in Saving Private Ryan, which was like one of his first early on roles. I mean, he gets right. He has a short stint, maybe that's why it's the best stint. But listen, I'm kind of up and down with Vince. Yeah,
I do like him. I think the best movie I've seen him in is The Last Witch Hunter.
Okay, I did not see that.
He's Vin Diesel, right? So he's like Keanu Reeves. The best time to see Keanu Reeves is when Keanu Reeves plays Keanu Reeves. Right? But Triple X, he's this adrenaline junkie. If nobody's ever seen it, spoiler alert. But and what's his name? Samuel L. Jackson was like, I could put you in a box. I can arrest you because he's some federal dude, of course. He goes, you ever see what a lion looks like after you put him in a box? He's all badass, and you get him in a box, and you can slowly see the fight and life come out of his eyes. And I was like, we were looking at the lions at the zoo, and I was like, that dude's just like a lion there. He's like, whatever I'm doing here, I'm just going to walk around. I ain't got nothing else to do. You could tell that the primitive side is gone.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And then the black bear walks by, and this one girl's like, yeah, that's a small one. And I'm like, yeah, go ahead and jump in there and see how small that black bear is.
Small one. I thought it was a pretty big bear.
I was like, I'm good, man, thanks. The country becomes really small when there's a bear in it. So
oh my gosh,
Yeah, Turtleback Zoo. Damn. First
I
time
think
I've ever
that's
had. You don't like it?
no, I do, I do. We're busy debating the next. So we took Brooklyn. That's my daughter's name. We took her
Brooklyn.
down the shore. And what was so great about the shore was that prior to that, we knew at the summertime we wanted to get her into the pool, we wanted to get her into the beach, all that. So, Walt, pro tip: whenever Logan is ready, swim classes are where it's at, my friend, because the
Oh,
swim classes has made her fearless with the pool and with the beach. She
yeah.
goes head first, and we got to give credit to the swim class. The 8
That's,
a.m. on Saturdays, I wasn't a fan of, but the investment of teaching her to swim was worth the 7:15 wake up on a Saturday, which is so what I wanted to do on a Saturday.
no, of course.
But
100%.
but it's great. You see all the parents that are there miserable. You know, their wives drag them there. Everyone's got a tall coffee, eyes are half rolled open. You
Yep.
know, but
Yep.
listen, great to get them swimming early, Walt, because then you can take advantage of the fun things like the pool and the beach.
Yeah. Val is a dolphin, basically. Her spirit animal is a dolphin. So she will have Logan. She's already had him in the water a handful of times. When we went to the beach over the weekend, the water was just too cold for him. He was not. He was not having that. So
Yeah. It's tough. I mean, at least to get them to touch the waves and to get them to just play in the beach in the sand, that's a win in itself. And
yeah.
get a nap on the beach, so you can also get a nap on the beach. That's where the real win is.
Yep. And I have a friend. He's like, "You going to take him to Walt Disney World?" And I go, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, 6-8 months. You take him to Walt Disney World." I go, "For what?" He goes, "He'll like it." I go, "Dude, I'll take him to Willowbrook Mall, and he won't know the difference."
I'll dress up in a Mickey Mouse costume. I'll tell him we're in Disney World. He'll think
That's
he's
it.
there.
Yeah, he just sees a bunch of lights at the mall, and he's like, "This is amazing," and then he calms down and goes to sleep. So I'm not going to drag him all the way to Florida or California to have him sleep the whole time. You
At
know,
least a minimum of 6 or 7 years old, where they can appreciate it a little bit.
right? And like take advantage of a couple of the rides or activities, but I don't know. That's what he was talking about. He's like,
Yeah,
my
I think a
kids.
lot of parents.
Oh, he's like, my kid's been to Disney World like 50 times. I'm like, what? What? Where do you work? How
Yeah.
can you?
Great call, Walt. It's a small fortune to go to Disney World. It's a
There's no.
paycheck
Yeah,
times two, maybe.
yeah. There's no reason for that. No, they get a little older, but we were just talking about the activities of watching him grow and what he's interested in, and as you know, but Logan is my son or our son,
Yeah.
and just see it's just going to be cool, to see if he's into sports or music or both or none of it and whatever. I don't know, and I'm not going to jam a football down his throat either, because if he's not interested in it, why would you do that? But of course we'll try everything or whatever. He'll come home and say, "Hey, I want to try this." Okay, well, fuck it, let's go try it. I'm up for anything. It'll keep me young, dude. Woo!
I think that's what I'm most looking forward to seeing how she pans out and what her interests and likes start to
Yeah.
become, right?
Yep.
I'll be honest, Walt, subliminally, I'd be lying if I were to tell you that I'm not putting a basketball hoop in the bathtub, or if I don't have a small basketball hoop in the bedroom. I'd be a liar if I didn't tell you that I do have those things lying around.
Wow.
I'd be also a liar if I give her a basketball and just show her at least how to dribble with her left and her right hand at least.
Should be showing you up, dude.
Listen, Walt, my kid is in, I think it's the 85th percentile for height and the 95th percentile in weight. She was
Damn.
9'11". She was 9 pounds, 11 ounces when she was born. So I think I am breeding a future Yukon Husky power forward. Early prediction
Hey,
is what I'm saying. Yeah,
like I said, it's on the internet, dude. Early prediction.
that's right. Early. We'll go back to the tape.
Hey, dude, I can see that you're not getting super detailed about what the prediction is, but I get it.
Yeah, right. I think she will hopefully be able to take advantage of that size and use it for a scholarship where we can hopefully save monies on our bank account. So that's my hope and my early prediction.
Yeah, for like school and stuff, you mean?
Yeah, because college ain't getting cheaper, my friend. I'm not sure if I'm sure you're paying attention to what these crazy costs are, but as a parent, oh man, we'll work for food, you know.
Oh yeah.
Shit,
I
man.
uh I believe it's going to crash the economy. How's
Oh
that?
man, yeah. I mean, I'm still paying off my college debt, Walt. I got a couple cannolis left that I got to still pay, you
Yeah.
know. And I have buddies. I have buddies that were our lawyers now, and they're paying off their law school debt. So, you know, education and the experience, sure, but I mean that's for another. We're already 40 minutes into this, so that's another conversation.
Oh yeah,
But
that's a whole afternoon and
yeah.
another glass of bourbon.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I gotta fill up to have that chat. But
Yeah,
listen,
exactly.
you know, the hope is that she goes to school, she can do something to help us out. Would be nice, but
Yeah. Yeah.
it's a long ways away, man. Anything can happen between now and then. We're really looking down the road.
Yeah. But no, I can't say that I don't think about that, obviously. You know, him coming home and saying whatever it is, and that carries him through, and Val and I benefit from it. Sure. I mean, you can't say that you don't think about it because
Oh, I'd be lying if I ever say I'm not. I don't think about. Of course.
yeah, but the thing is though, if he or she's in that position, I'm not looking at it as him taking care of us. I look at that he's that successful.
100%.
Yeah. And I benefit from it because we made you. Ah! Like my mom,
Yeah.
like my mom used to say, I brought you in this world, I'll take you out. You ever
Ooh.
you ever get one of those? Your parents?
More or less, not word for word, but a different way of phrasing it. Like the message was clear when that was being spoken out.
Yeah, yeah. No, I got that just like that, word for word. You know what?
Mm.
I brought you in this world. I can take you out. Oh, yeah, yes, ma'am. What do you need done?
Hear that? Hear that?
Hey, let me ask you, did you guys plan on a baby? Or was
We
that
did.
did you?
No, that was the plan. That was the plan, Stan. To definitely have one. Two is the goal. You know, in the
Oh,
contract in the contract that I gave Dana, we said no more than two. So she signed, and we're still in agreement on the terms. I'm
okay.
kidding, of course,
Okay.
but Dana has a sister. I have a brother, so we definitely knew that we wanted to have two. That was the goal. That's still the goal. That's still the plan. And if things kind of proceed and we're able to do it, we'll do it. I know many people that have one and they're happy with one. And listen, I have people that have three. I think they're crazy, but God bless you.
Two.
For us, two is the sweet spot. Yeah.
Okay. I think at this point it's Logan.
Great. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think in not too long in near future, the shop will be closed, if you know what I mean. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
for that,
Yeah.
just do that for convenience, man. Just it's 5 years down the road, you're like, oops.
I
Nah.
listen. I know both sides of that fence, Walt. I know people that have had the oops, right, and then
Yep.
immediately their wives booked them an appointment for the procedure that next day after the oops. But then I know people that have done what you're talking about, and it's peace of mind. No, avoid the oops. So that's everyone's decision.
Yeah. Yeah. We know a couple that had twin boys, right?
Oh my God.
Oh, wait, dude, it gets better. Got pregnant, another set of twin boys.
Oh my gosh. So they have four.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
You think my boy with three daughters under three needs a statue? This dude
Oh
needs dude needs a mausoleum.
yeah. He needs like a monument named after him.
Yeah. How about
Oh my
that,
God.
dude? We saw at the zoo, like, of course, America being what it is and capitalism and all that. When you're having a baby, you get inundated with so much stuff. You're like, you need this and you need this and you need this. And you're like, holy shit, do we need all this stuff? But man, I saw a foldable wagon, and I was like, oh, we're gonna need that eventually. You ever see those?
Well, yeah. Have you ever seen the stroller that has the young baby in it? But then there's like the platform for like the older kid that can stand on the stroller.
Yeah.
Like the wagon is awesome, but I'm all about the dual stroller. I've seen some cool stuff with what's around there. You can still kind of have your 3-year-old be mobile on that, and you can carry your 6-month-old in the stroller. Like those things are cool.
And then the same stroller, same model, has like another thing in the front, kind of toward the front wheel on the bottom, that looks like a bubble that you can put another infant in.
It's like a double. I tell you, it's like a double decker.
Yeah, yeah. I saw some stuff and I was like, whoever thought of that was, But again, capitalism, right? You love it or hate it, but we come up with that stuff because of capitalism. But some of the stuff Val loves to read and do research, and we've benefited from that greatly from her research. Because me, I'm like, yeah, okay, we're gonna do this. Okay, yeah, all right. And but there's some stuff you go down a rabbit hole with kids, and you need this tool and this toy and this and this and this, and I'm like, next thing you know, you spend $1,000, and they look at it and go, "Nah, I'm good." You're like,
Well, you know what my daughter's favorite toy is? A
Cardboard.
plastic water bottle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's right, the water bottle. Yeah, the towel, the layups towel, all those things. The tennis ball, favorite toy, right? We're very fortunate. That hand-me-downs and all that good stuff, right? It's these simple things. Oh, Walt, the bubble wrap that you put in packages, the bubble wrap that kept her occupied for hours.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. How old is she now?
She's going to be 2 on November 23rd. She's like a Thanksgiving baby.
Is it right with terrible twos?
Well, I'll let you know. I mean, we're getting there. I mean, shoot, if she's not 2, she's 2 going on 20. But she's walking around. I mean, she's walking around. She's running around. She's spinning around. She's talking. She's telling us no. So I mean, this is a sneak peek until when she officially becomes 2. I'm gonna say we've already entered the danger zone.
Okay, all right. I keep telling Val too. We look around our house, and she keeps reminding me as well. I'm like, oh, we got to fix that before he gets legs on him.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
move that. We got to move that. Oh man, we got to move that. So we got some work to do before he starts crawling for sure.
You start thinking about corners. You have to put these rubber things on the corners of tables. You do soundproofing, Walt. This is baby proofing. This is baby proofing. Is where can he or she fall at any given time, anywhere in your place. And I gotta bubble wrap that. I gotta put a rubber corner on that. It becomes like a whole strategic operation that you're trying to think about. If I'm this kid and I stumble here, okay, I got to be able to put some padding there. If I fall here, okay, I got to put a rubber corner over there. Next thing you know, your whole place is wrapped in bubble wrap before you know it.
Yeah, might as well, right? And then, of course, they find the edge that's not bubble wrapped.
Listen, or you just put them in a bubble. That's always an option too, like a gerbil or a hamster. You put them in one of those.
You gotta have one of those games for layups for life, dude.
Oh, with the big bubble?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man.
Can you
people get intense in those? People get intense. People go flying in those things.
Can you imagine the injuries with that?
Oh, you're signing 2 waivers if I'm doing that before you even step foot into one of those things.
We could do it at a small event, but what's your next event, dude? Cornhole?
So it's you got it, Walt. That's it. We are actually in conversations with another organization here in Hoboken called Party with Purpose. They are a big fundraising operation that runs one of the area's largest 5Ks in the state. That's Party with Purpose.
Right.
We've been working with them for the last couple of years for this cornhole tournament. Obviously, we weren't able to do it a year ago because of COVID, but we've now initiated conversations with them. And I think we have a date. So if you want to tentatively write this down, on Saturday, October 30th, right here in Hoboken at the Pilsner Beer Garden, which is an awesome
Oh,
venue
that
if you've
place,
never been before.
dude, that place is amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
We
So
we like
we
that place.
are, yeah, we are putting the final touches together, and I think within the next week or so, we're going to officially promote it. But well, that's an exclusive sneak peek of our next fundraising event on
Boom.
Saturday, October 30th. Boom, at the Pilsner Beer Garden.
And
Our it'll be our third in Hoboken. That'll be our third annual. Now it's air quote annual, right? Because we had this break. We don't have it consistent, but will be our cornhole charity tournament. So we're looking forward to that.
Is that usually now? This is your second one, obviously, because the break.
This will be our third one. This will be our third one. Yeah.
Pretty good turnout.
Great turnout. Oh my gosh. You see some of the players that come out for this thing. Some of these guys don't miss. It's unbelievable.
Holy man, they're like professionals, right?
It's great. I mean, it's funny. We have, I know, kind of out in that area, there's like NJ Play Sports and some other intramural leagues out here. I think there may be some Zog Sports out a little further in West Jersey. But we have Zog Sports here, and they're cornhole leagues. Like, people sign up to play cornhole, and you can tell who the ringers are and who the people are that play in those leagues. It's very easy to call out.
Yeah, as soon as they walk in from the parking lot, you're like, oh, that guy right there.
Totally.
Oh
Yep.
my God. Yeah, because we were playing. I was in a poker tournament long time ago, a couple of years ago, 3-4 years ago. And the guy goes, "Hey, look, dude, I was in Vegas actually when Val and I went out with my buddy. We saw a Kid Rock in concert, but we were sitting in the poker room, and the guy goes, "Is that professional cornhole?" And I'm like, "That dude's got a jersey on. That team's got a jersey. Hey, whatever, dude. If that's fun, of course, who doesn't like good cornhole game, but." If that's what you're doing, you're having a good time, good on you, dude. And that gets you out of the house and being social. I think that's amazing.
Do you see some of the sponsors? Like their shirts are littered with sponsors.
It looks like
what I mean? Like, that's right. Yes. Yes. I mean, people are paying money for these guys. They're professionals. And shoot, man, they don't miss. And if you miss, you're game over. You're done. I mean, these guys are getting ringers every single time.
Jesus. Oh, well, I'll put all that in the show notes, dude. Is that with a 5K? Because you said something about a 5K.
Oh, no. I was saying how the Party with Purpose guys, they're like, my basketball tournament is my Super Bowl event. That's one of our biggest events, our annual 3-on-3 charity basketball tournament.
Is that going to happen or what?
Oh man, I think it is going to happen, Walt. It's a different beast this year, and I'm sure you know why with everything going on. So we're just being really diligent to make sure that people feel comfortable with wanting to do it, and that people want to play in an indoor basketball tournament. So those are the things that we just have to make sure, because we make a promise that we want people to enjoy our events. We want them to feel comfortable in participating in that event. We sent out a survey recently to get people's temperature on it. We're getting early results back. I want to do it. I think we can do it. We have an event. We have a date. I don't want to share that date right now because it's still kind of tentative. We're aiming for sometime in mid-November. I'll say that much. But that is a TBD that we're really working on. But dude, the 5K event. Yep. Sorry. Go, Walt.
No. Go ahead.
Oh, the 5K Party with Purpose, they run this huge 5K. That's their Super Bowl. So they run their own fundraising event. This thing, they shut down roads in Hoboken. The course is all around Sinatra Drive by the water. That's their Super Bowl. So they run a huge event. We're joining forces and we're collaborating to put on the cornhole tournament.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. All right. I see that. With the 3-on-3, man, seeing that grow from what it started as, dude. Holy man. Good job, dude. And
yeah, that's our baby. That's our baby.
Yeah, whoever's listening, you got to jump in the link in the show notes and check out this tournament. I've had such a good every year I have a good time, dude. Well, I have a good time no matter what I'm doing. But I always enjoy that event, dude. That's always a lot of fun.
Well, we appreciate you always coming out, Walt. And I think what people like the most about the event, about that event in particular, and we've been running it for the last 5 years, and it's been a great event. It started out at my alma mater high school, which is Roxbury High School out in Morris County, New Jersey. And then it got too big. We had a 45 team turnout. It's an all-day tournament. So now we've been very fortunate to move it on to the Parsippany PAL, which has 2 gyms and really allows us to spread out and give people breathing room. It's I think what really draws that event is that we're very conscious of people and their skill level and their ability of how they play the game, because we pit you against other players that have the same level of enthusiasm or skill level or skill set for basketball. And we ask you very specific questions so we compare you against guys where you're going to have fun, right? Because I remember growing up, nothing was worse than traveling to Pennsylvania, traveling to New York to play in a single elimination tournament. You play, you go home. That used to stay. I used to hate that. So at my tournament, we guarantee you a minimum of 5 games, like a round robin, kind of like a World Cup tournament where you're playing in divisions. If you make it out of your division, you play in a single elimination tournament, right? So you kind of graduate or move on if you make it out of your division to play in that single elimination tournament. And again, it's all people that are in your skill level, because nothing stinks more than going and playing 5 games and getting your ass whooped. That's not fun at all. And we avoid that at all costs.
No, dude, and you do an amazing job with that, because every year I've played, we've gone deep into winning or even into the single elimination. So the matchup is great. And, and it's not easy for us. We got to work our ass off. And the guys, I suck at basketball, dude. I just like going out and talking shit the whole time. And I do a good job at that. But so I get a couple guys on the team that can actually carry the weight. But how about the guys? I call them the crew from Shameless. Remember those guys?
Well, we've had a lot of interesting teams that have come out and played. I mean, I remember, Walt, when we were at Roxbury High School, I had a group of older gentlemen, maybe they were 60 plus, and they all just showed up. One guy had a ball in his hand. He had 2 new knee braces on and an elbow brace. And he rolled up with all his buddies. And he's like, hey, listen, we tried to sign up. We couldn't figure out how to do it all. And they were like older guys, not probably very computer savvy. And they said, listen, we're here. We'd love to play. And ironically enough, in one of my lower divisions, I had an open spot. So they fit in. And I'll never forget, the guys were coming up to me and they're like, who are the 60-plusers? They just kicked our ass. I mean, that was amazing. And I got to watch them. It was like poetry in motion, Walt. They were setting screens for each other. They were passing. They were also lights-out shooters. So, I mean, that's just the randomness of the event sometimes. You see these guys that show up, and that's the other thing. We've had people from 25 to 55 to 65 that come out and play. And I can guarantee you 2 things. You're going to get a workout, and you're going to have a good time. So those are 2 things I'm going to get. I can guarantee you that.
Dude, and I'll back you up on that, because every time I busted my ass and laughed all day long. So it's just always a good time. But what I'm talking about, those guys, that group, it was like the dad, it was like the grandpa, the dad, the son, and then their sons. And we were calling it the Shameless because they look like the crew from the TV show Shameless.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and then they didn't come back. I think you had to be like, hey guys, you're just not. I don't know if you did, so correct me if I'm wrong, but you're like, you shouldn't come back.
I think what happened is that one of the guys got hurt, and I think they wanted to try to bring like a random guy off the street to come onto their team. I don't know if we're getting our wires crossed talking about 2 different teams, but I'm recalling that situation. I'm like, no, you can't just call up a buddy and bring in a ringer and have a random guy show up. That's why you have 4 guys. Now you use in that situation. Now you have 3. Right? It's 3-on-3 tournament. But yours, I'll also never forget. One guy was playing and he fell and he landed on his head, and he kind of was like a little woozy coming out. And I had a medical professional on hand, and she did a whole concussion test with him, like something you see on TV with the flashlight in his eye. And she was like, he's done. He comes up to me. He's like, can I play? Why can't I play? I'm like, dude, are you serious? He goes, no, what happened? I was like, okay. I'm
Yeah,
like,
you're
where's
done.
his teammates? Like, where's the adults? Like, tell your guy what just happened here because he's done. He's not stepping on the court, and if he is, you guys are all leaving. So those are some of the. Listen, I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off on that thing because I'm also playing
Yeah.
Walt.
Oh yeah. No,
So
I know.
yeah. So those are some of the. But I love hearing the other stories because I love getting the vantage points and the perspectives of other things that I miss. But those are some of the things that I recall. So it sounds like you encountered a pretty a pretty fun group of guys or something.
I swear that they came out of the parking lot and cut off flannel shirts and work boots, took the flannel shirt off with a wife beater and had put sneakers on, and they play. Dude, I'm serious. It was that like classic look. I was like, what? And they were super aggressive and elbowing and like, when you're posted up with somebody, he's like using his knee on the inside of your knee, like hitting your knees, and I'm like, I get it, dude. I mean, if you want to play that way, I can. So Nick, you saw him at the golf tournament.
Kraus.
Yeah, him and I are like, all right, we can play that way. And then it was like a soccer match. I touch a guy, he falls down. He's like, oh, I'm hurt. I'm hurt. And I'm like, this is unfucking believable. You guys are killing me. But it was just a lot of fun. And they got in a physical altercation with another team. It was like a fist fight. And I was like, oh, God, these guys, man. But like you say, you run into all types. And speaking of that, how about Mike, the guy that you set us up with golfing?
Oh, Walt, did I told you? Okay, so there was a guy. Okay, so the golf outing, who signed up as an individual, right? So you could sign up as your foursome, or you could sign up as an individual. This guy signed up as an individual. Not a problem. I told people I'd find a group. I'd find a foursome, right? I had other randoms that I was able to pair them all up. This guy was out of the woodwork. And on my registration form, I asked, "How did you hear about us?" And he said, "A search." He said, "Search engine colon Bing, Yahoo, Google." I said, "Great, that's amazing." He typed some keywords in. I came up, amazing. And it was a name. I don't want to give the full name, but it was a name that was kind of very gender neutral. I didn't know if it was a male or a female, and I don't ask on my form if you're a male. I have no purpose to.
Yeah, yeah.
So Dana and I tried reaching out to him and reaching out to him saying, "Listen, I'm trying to find you a group. I can't find you a group." I called, I emailed, I tried everything, Walt. And in the meantime, I couldn't get in touch with this individual, but they emailed me. They emailed me 2 weeks before the outing, and only in the subject line said, "Weather looks like rain, 50%. What happens if it rains?" And then nothing in the body. That was just the subject line, right? So I'm like, this person reached out to me. I'm trying to reach out to them, and they're not getting back to me. So the whole time, Dana and I, my wife, were like, whenever this person shows up, we got to let each other know because it's this big mystery. And I said, listen, there's one person I can put a random person with. It's Walt and his group. So this person will be fine. They're going to have a good time. Guaranteed. So Dana comes up to me and goes, so and so signed up. I said, no way. I said, actually showed up and came. She said, yes, he is over there. So it was a he. We found out it was a he. This was an 85-year-old man who showed up with his own golf clubs, Notre Dame hat, polo shirt, khaki pants, ready to play. Ready to play.
And that dude was a baller.
He could play. He said he could golf.
He plays 3 times a week.
Amazing. That's so amazing.
Yeah. 85 years old. He's out there 3 times a week. And I go, how, because I like here, I got, I get talking to him. And I was like, how'd you find this? And, you and I talked about it previous, but I just was, having conversation with him. Super nice guy. Truly enjoyed hanging out with him. And he goes, I like Galloping Hills where you had the tournament. He goes, I like this golf course. He goes, so I just searched on what they had coming up so I could golf. And I was like, that's awesome. He goes, you got to get out of the house. And I was like, yeah. He goes, these people my age, they just sit and rot. Man, that's no good for you either. And I'm like, holy cow. He was a blast, dude. He had a good time. But what made me think of that was you're talking about the medical professional and people getting hurt. Well, when we came around the clubhouse to go on our back nine, he's like, fellas, I'm out. It's hot out. And we could tell he was hurting, dude. He was hurting. And I go, you good, dude? You okay? And he's like, I'm perfect, man. I'm good, but I know when to call it quits. I'm like, dude, I go, you're a rock star, man. It was a pleasure. And he's like, thanks, fellas. And he left. And then you rolled up on us. You're like, is he all right? What happened?
Dude, you told me that story, and I'm like, can you confirm that he made it off the golf course? That's all I wanted to know. Yeah. Because you told me that story. I'm like, oh my God, it's hot. It's 85 degrees.
It was hot.
I'm sure he's drinking. We left drinks in the cart. The drink cart was also coming around. But you said that to me, and I took the call. I tried to find him. I wanted to talk to him. I didn't get a chance. But most importantly, I just wanted to make sure he made it off the course in one piece because it was inconclusive. Just told me he left.
Yeah. I tell you, Nick was a rock star because he was riding with Nick. And Nick, every time, would park the cart in the shade and go get his ball. The dude never retrieved his own ball. One of us would go get it. And we always made sure he had something to drink. And he was a super nice guy, man. That was cool to talk with him. And I didn't get much of his history or anything like that. But the dude could swing a golf club.
Amazing.
85 years.
He did the front nine, you said. The fact that he made it halfway, that's fantastic.
Oh, dude, you should see him. He'd go up there. He's straight as, even on the drive. He stands straight as an arrow, dude. His back straight, every feet pretty close together. And he takes his club and he drops it and he bounces it 3 times behind the ball, swings away.
Amazing.
You could tell he was getting tired and hot toward the end. He was not hitting them and stuff, but yeah, that was a lot of fun, dude. Well done again on that. I know how much work that is to put something together, dude. Unbelievable. And you get nowhere near the credit as you deserve putting on events like that, man.
Thanks. Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, people see that and they're like, what about this? What about this? What about this? It's like, fuck, dude, come on, man. And, what about all this I did for you? You don't see that. You only see what you don't, you're only complaining what you don't see. But anyway, I always enjoy your events. They're always well run, man. But I'll be at the cornhole one. Val loves that location. So.
Oh, nice. Great. Yeah. I mean, if you want us to come and hang out too, we'll have drink and food specials all day long. College football will be rolling, so it'll be a great day.
Yeah, I'll see if the boys want to come out too. That's always a good hangout. But
nice.
All right, dude. I tell you what, brother, it's always a pleasure to have you on, man.
Walt, there's one table that I like sitting on. It's Walt's kitchen table, baby.
I had to go to do this StreamYard stuff, with the pandemic, having people over and with the baby and me traveling and doing all that and time. And I said, and I'm going to make this as pleasurable as possible with being on not just a static looking Zoom call. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
So love to the family.
Love to yours, and keep crushing it and doing great stuff, man. This is so much fun. I enjoy chatting with you. We can go another hour, but we're not going to do that to your listeners. So
yeah, I was just going to say, people are like, my ears are bleeding. But I'm going to end this bad boy, but hang on. I got to talk to you just for a second after, all right?
You got it, man.
Thanks, buddy. Talk to you soon.
Thank you, Walt. Yep.
Man, what did I tell you? Is Dan an awesome human or what? I would never steer you wrong. And like we talked about in the episode, jump down in the show notes and the link to his website and his Instagram. That would be awesome. If you're in the Jersey area, he's always happy to have you at his events. I can speak from experience. They are always a ton of fun. So check that out. And I'm going to get you out of here because I know you got shit to do. So don't forget, Live Rishi. Check out some CBD product and my website. Get a hold of me. See what's going on with the show. And when I say have a great day, the motherfucker is silent. Till next time.